Here's the story.
How do I look? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'm waiting for you. You tell me when. Stand right here?
You can come closer. Closer still.
I feel really...
Nope, that's good. That's good. Right there.
So
Nothing in your teeth.
I have all my teeth. That's why I can't be mayor of Tuckerton. What?
We're rolling.
Oh, no! Just kidding. Ba-dum-bum. Hi, my name is Michael Corliss. I'm born and raised in Beach Haven, New Jersey. Fourth generation. Something like that. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just trying to think what you want to say.
You know the Dollar Parlor?
The Dollar Parlor is one of my favorite stores to go to from when I was very little. I'm a jokester at heart. We all know this. One of my favorite things was watching the spider that they had on a fishing line, and when somebody, you know, was underneath of it, they would drop the spider down, or the old blow-up ball hitting you on the head. That was a big deal for me when I was growing up. Many shocking pens and whoopee cushions are there for the purchase. Any time of the evening, it's there for the taking. And speaking of not changing, the only thing that's changed is it's now the parlor instead of the Dollar Parlor. And that's about it.
You know how old they are?
How old?
50 years.
50 years?
They're celebrating their 50th year.
Wow. That is, wow, 50 years. I'm 45 myself, so I can say that they're, I don't know.
Certain things always happen here. People cannot stop squeezing the chickens. And they don't even, after a certain point, they want to stop.
Because this is a touchy-feely store. You want to have things that don't break, basically, and you want to have things that people can squeeze and touch and say, isn't this cool?
Great place. My kids, all excited. One of the best parts of coming to LBI is the parlor.
We come to the parlor out of tradition. Yeah, we come every summer.
Wow. What are you getting today?
A big cigarette. Pint glass and fake cigarette.
They're not buying essentials. That's not what you come here for. You're not going to need this stuff to survive, but you are going to get it because a squawking chicken is funny.
We sold clackers, we sold bang snaps, we sold bomb bags, and we sold a lot of them. And I was sold. I was hooked on the parlor.
What was the question?
Celebrate their 50th anniversary during the month of August 2016. The Mayor and the Council of the Borough of Beach Haven honors the Dollar Parlor on their 50th anniversary in the Borough of Beach Haven, signed by me, Nancy T. Davis, on August 26, 2000.
We had our 50th anniversary in August, the end of August. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people came back. A lot of former employees came back. We had a great step signing where people got to sign the steps, which led to a lot of storytelling, a lot of people talking about their time when they were little, and people signing it from the 60s and 70s and 80s of when they first came in the store. It was a great day. It was a fun day. It was a day that the store deserved.
Very cute. It looks great. Happy anniversary!
Give us a little bit of the early history of this place. going back 50 years?
50 years. Third owner. Jerry Craig was the first, Barbara Buckland the second. Jerry was a Broadway stage person. Big guy, like 6'5", 6'6". Flamboyant in a time when flamboyant wasn't necessarily something you would see every day. He would have apparently very famous people hang out at the store. One I was told was Liza Minnelli apparently hung out here a couple of times. And when you see his old ads and stuff, he brought it. He was bringing what you need, whatever it is, he brought it to the store. That was his goal. It was fun.
It was the same kind of store?
It was a true dollar store when he opened it, but some of the things we have, we still, he had rubber chickens, he had the rainbow umbrella hats, he had all of that stuff, and he had a sense of humor. He was a big, funny dude, you know, and he loved doing this.
I remember going into the Dollar Parlor. I think it was the original dollar store on the island. Oh, they had this machine, it's not in there now, and it was a love machine, a love tester, and you put a quarter in and you squeeze it, and it had all these different colored light bulbs that would light up. You know, I think the best was being red hot. So, you know, if you were a teen in the summer coming down here, wandering around, going into the shops, you know, maybe you met some boys or something that you wanted to impress, and you put a quarter in and red hot.
What was the bottom of the
I don't know, like
tester? Something like dead fish, right?
Something about a fish.
And then the top was what you say, red hot?
I think red hot.
Where did you fall in that on the love tester?
Where do you think?
I remember coming in here as a kid and I was playing with the Chinese finger traps, and I accidentally got myself trapped, and I panicked, and I eventually got out, and I never came here again.
Mr. Bendy, I'm not pleased to say, has been found in horrible positions throughout the store, doing things that kids, if you're at home, you should just turn it off now, that kind of stuff.
Well, I think it's a lot of fun. I remember coming here 50 years ago and finding all kinds of little entertaining things that didn't cost too much, little fun gifts to give people, particularly for children. And it's just a very cheerful place and very unusual. And you feel like you're walking back in time, and I love that. I love the feeling that things haven't changed.
Well, my name is Jed Downey, and I am a former employee of the parlor. When I was here, it was the Dollar Parlor. Started here in the summer of '96 and made my way through the summer of '98. So I did 3 great years here.
What was your, do you have a favorite story or memory or something about your employment?
Well, dropping the spider on unsuspecting customers is always a blast and always was a lot of fun.
What's your favorite thing about the Dollar Parlor?
Well, there's the spider.
The spider.
He would be behind the counter.
We have a string right next to the register, and when people are unsuspectingly looking at items, I'll just drop it.
And he would drop the spider on your head.
Mike is up and down real fast. I like to hang it on their shoulder or on their hair or something, you know.
I almost had to buy the emergency underwear kit.
It was a big, hairy rubber spider. It was creepy and cool, and everybody screams! And I hate spiders, and that's one of the reasons why I hate spiders, because of the Dollar Parlor.
How do you feel when you drop a spider on an innocent person?
I mean, unless they're pregnant or really old, I feel good about it.
After you drop the spider on someone, what do you do next?
Pull it back up and then just pretend I'm looking at my phone or something. Make it look like I had nothing to do with it.
Do you look away because you're trying to keep the illusion that you didn't do it, or because you are somehow deeply embarrassed that you just caused so much fear?
I want to keep them from finding out who was doing it, so I could just drop it on them again.
I've convinced people that there's a little guy who lives in the attic who drops it on them.
It's funny to know about the spider and watch other people get scared. That's the best part.
I've scared the same people for 20 years, and I'll drop it on them without knowing it's them every year, and every year it scares them. And they'll say, it's like, I can't believe you got me again.
Was that scary?
Nope, not to me.
Not to you?
Yes.
What if he did it again? Go stand under it. Go stand under it. Let's see. Has anyone ever got mad at you for doing this?
I had one person say, hey, you think you're pretty funny? Of course, the obvious answer was yes.
There she goes.
Yeah, she's not.
So that's a piece of cake, right?
I've had, I would say, maybe 10 more people say things to me that strike home, you know, that I can remember. A couple of them stand out. A woman came in, she comes in from California. What she says to me as she's walking, she walks over by the exit of going down the stairs, and she says to me, coming here is like a religious experience. And she meant it. She loved this store, just being back and doing this, you know. It's kind of an interesting thing. And we have people that say that all the time. They love the store. And I tell that to my wife when I come home. Oh yeah, this woman said this, or this guy said this about the store. And she says, oh my God, is that all you can talk about? Is that store, you know? And I said, well, it's fun when people recognize that you put an effort into it. And I think that's what a lot of people see. They know we put an effort into this place, you know, to make it special for them. So it's good.
Do you see yourself 10, 20 years from now coming here with your group of children?
I would really love to come back here with children and show them like what I had as a kid.
And would you encourage them to work here?
If I could, yeah. And I would love to see if Mike's still owning it 20 years from now. 70-year-old Mike, that would be hilarious to see.
Do you think he will?
I
Don't look at him. Do you think he will still own the parlor 20 years from now?
I don't know. Honestly, it could go anywhere. I would think he would want to pass it on to someone who could, a little more younger and could like liven things up. Not liven things up per se, I mean.
What were your thoughts when you were listening to Josh's interview?
You wouldn't say Josh is awkward to his face, you know, but you would say Josh, when he was younger, was a little awkward. Yeah. You know, he wasn't, he's not a smooth guy. No one will say, hey, that Josh, he's a smooth talker, you know, but he's...
When he first started working here.
Yeah, and even, now he's not, Josh is honest. He will tell you what he thinks, not in an abrasive way, he's just an honest kid, which worked out really well here. He was quiet. He was very quiet. He's not that kid anymore. He doesn't come off that way, especially at the store.
How does it make you feel when you hear, I asked him what the influence of the store was, and he credits working here as being one of the things that kind of molded him into...
Love it. Love it. I'm friendly with my staff. Sometimes I have to be boss-like, but for the most part, things run smoothly. The people I have working, especially the last few years, I've had great people working here. So I don't have to do a lot of the, nobody cracks the whip in this place, you know. I've got to watch these kids grow up into adults in a way that their parents never did, because they tell me things that they probably wouldn't tell their folks. And not anything like bad, just they have conversations with me about their lives and what they're doing, what they're thinking about doing, and I get to see them go from a little punk ass into this great adult, exactly the point where they become extraordinarily useful to you at the store, out of here. You know, and that's what you get. You get to watch them go from from kids to incredibly competent adults. A couple of years ago, we started selling a lot of masks. You know, a lot of good, quality animal masks. So.
And how do they do?
They do remarkably well. Remarkably well. The horse head being still the most popular. So, but I get to put up all my favorite people. Bob Dylan, Sublime, AC/DC. I get to put up the posters that either I had when I was a kid or some of the movies that I think are classic without being overly old. Sell all the sports stuff. I don't sell cowboy stuff because I'm not an asshole. So I'll sell all the Philly stuff even though I'm a Giant fan because, well, I'm in business and Philly people are, well, they're not cowboy fans, so they got that going for them.
Michael is the parlor. He's the third owner in 50 years. Only 3 people can say that they own the parlor. So Michael took that from the first owner, Jerry, who he did not know. Barbara had that, the second owner. Michael first started working for Barbara, and I think it was a rite of passage. If you're going to take this, if you're going to be the next owner, this is how you have to do it. She didn't say that about a lot of things. Michael's stamp is all over this store, but when it comes to that, the history, the connection, that feeling that you walk away knowing that he cared about you, he wanted to talk to you, that came down the line.
Then you go into the back. The back used to be sort of an apartment setting. This was a shower in here, storage area. This has been a million different things. I call it the office, but at one time I had it was nice in here. I kept all the storage out, and we used to have a big TV and, you know, big comfy couches.
Michael is proud of this store. He is a part of this store. Everything, every sign has Michael humor in it. Every display, it might not be in that box, but it's Michael style, and that's what makes it work here. When it's off season, he's waiting for the next season. He's thinking about it, he's preparing, he's getting ready to make some of the changes to make the parlor better. It is Michael.
She said that you are the dollar parlor.
Wow, yeah, I guess, yes. I mean, there's a lot of me in the store, that's for sure. Considering my whole family's attached to the store, and my father's attached to the store, and my wife is attached to the store, and my kids are now attached to the store. And the people I work with, especially, I mean, so many of the people I'm still really good friends with, and some of them have gone on, we have people who are professors at colleges, you know, really smart, really good people, and they're all extended parlor family. You know, I get to do and laugh and have fun, and it makes it so much easier when your husband or your father or comes home and they're in a good mood. Mm-hmm. You know, like they spend a day with people laughing. Not just like, like laughing, like something was funny that day. There's always something hysterically funny that goes on in the store, either from the people who work here or the people who shop here. And I guess maybe that's as much a part of me as anything else, is that I hope I look for that. I hope I look for what's funny about somebody. That's why I like talking to people, because I can talk to almost anybody. Pretty much anybody who comes in here, I'll find some common ground somewhere. You know, and you get to come back to a place where the world is carried on, been bulldozed, carried on, and we're still here.
Yeah, I run a museum for kids and they want to show people what I do.
So where's the museum?
I travel, I go to the schools, because it's hard to get the kids to go to anywhere. So I want to teach them to be like you.
Oh, slow down. You run a museum for kids, but you go to the schools.
I go to the schools and I teach them that.
And you teach them what?
I teach them about history. I teach them to be like you. I want them to be like the greatest generation.
Well, so...
Do you want to hear the name?
Yes.
The Museum of Interesting Things.
Great.
Do you like that?
So you just teach them anything you want to teach them?
I teach them about the history of invention. I teach them to be curious. I teach them to tinker. I teach them to not be afraid.
Who made the light bulb? Right?
Yes, I teach them about Edison. In fact, I'll show you my Edison piece. Look. Here.
So what's your name?
See that thing? I've got that.
A gramophone.
Yeah, well, it was before the gramophone. That's a wax cylinder player.
A wax cylinder player?
Yeah, that's
so
an Edison wax cylinder. I play wax cylinders from 110 years ago. And they think it's magical. And the guy in the very back row said, well, wait a second, Denny. If that's true, then what does it mean to be an inventor? What constitutes an inventor? So I walked up to that guy and I said, did you tie this shoe? You tied this shoe? Ladies and gentlemen, this person, this man had a problem. You had a problem. His shoe would untie. And I see that you double knotted your shoe. Are you an engineer? Are you a rocket scientist? You've invented the double knot. Give this man a hand. And that's really what inventors do. That it's just a person solving a problem. The Museum of Interesting Things is a traveling museum. What we do is we travel around the country and we show you guys that your iPods didn't pop out of thin air. Came from a long line of inventions. Pretty much everything on my table probably makes one iPhone, I suppose, right? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We have here the world's smallest record player. Yes, the Mighty Tiny from 1969. And are you ready to see this man over here go ooh and ah? And that's the world's smallest record. Where's your ooh and ah? Wow. He doesn't know his lines. I've got an idea. We should have a farm of dogs outside in the parking lot. Yes, oh my God. A whole farm of dogs, tails wagging in the wind, and all the lights in the school go on. And all the power goes on in the school. You would be the most green energy school in the entire country. And then PETA would call, and they'd go, what are you thinking, enslaving dogs in the parking lot? Yeah, I think we might get in a little bit of trouble for that. What do you think? But this technology goes back 400 years. 400 years, yes. The whole player piano thing, the whole, looms and all those mechanical type devices, calliopes, they go back 400 years. I have a calliope finally in the museum and it's 1880s. Unfortunately, each time a culture does something, they don't document it properly, or the next culture conquers them and destroys it, or has no respect for them and considers them barbarians, and then that whole technology disappears. Hey, what's happening? Come on in. Finally you get to see the actual Museum of Interesting Things. And you could probably stare in one location for 30 minutes and not be done trying to figure out what's in that 3 square feet. I've got 8 to 10 of these machines. I've got so many of them, yeah. Because I bought a lot of miniature ones as well. This is one of my favorite. It's the Home Standard, the one that's always in my living room, ready with my favorite song. So I always start every show with this. I'm Denny Daniel. I curate the Museum of Interesting Things, which is a traveling museum that goes all over the country. And I like to say that it shows people their iPhones, their iPods didn't pop out of thin air. They came from a long line of inventions. And I also like to bring back kind of curiosity, tinkering. I like to show the missing link factor with the Museum of Interesting Things. That's a light meter.
Yeah.
It's a light meter for a camera. I got the same one.
Yeah?
Yep, I got the same one in my living room.
Right.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
General Electric. Good deal. Thanks. You too. And they made things so that it was almost magical. You know, they made things so that it had this beautiful allure to them. They weren't just beautiful, there was something magical, mysterious, alluring to it. You know, you knew that it was special. You know, you can't see this on a table and not go, what is that? What do you think of that one?
15 or best reasonable offer?
Or best reasonable offer?
I'm here to sell it, not in love with it.
So I'm doing that one. Because if you're going to teach kids, you got to teach them something really nutty. I have new acquisitions that no one has ever seen before. And I actually let you guys open up new acquisitions. I have no clue what's inside here. I mean, most of it I purchased, but it's just a box. I don't know what it is. So you guys get to open up the acquisition, and then I'm, of course, put on the spot telling you what it is. So who wants to be the first?
You certainly don't make a lot of money doing this, and your space is completely filled up with the museum.
Like, you have Marilyn Monroe's luggage, like, buried under all this?
So what do you get out of this? What is it that you see in your audience that keeps you wanting to do this?
You can tell you've touched them when they start telling you these really wonderful stories. My dad used to have this, you know, my mom used to have that. You know, they would tell me about the history of their parents, or they would tell me about things they did. And it's so great to see people, you know, in every realm get inspired. And then I know I did something right. All I show them is very interesting things, and they become curious and interesting, and it wakes up the country, it wakes up people. And so being afraid of change is a huge mistake. If you embrace change and you learn from it and you adapt, then you make, you know, butter.
Shades of night are creeping, willow trees are weeping, old folks and babies are sleeping. Silver stars are gleaming, all alone I'm scheming, scheming to get you out here, my dear. Come tiptoe to the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of a willow tree, and tiptoe through the tulips with me.